Hello, everyone. We are back again for another live. It's 8 o'clock. We're just getting started, so we gotta wait for Maria to get into the room. How are you guys doing today? Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Maria. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the summer and distractions because I know it's hard. You want to go to the beach, but still you want to get your stuff done. Let's just.
Hi,
Hi.
gorgeous.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Tiffany.
Hi. Hope you're well,
How,
Tiffany.
how's everybody doing?
I hope it doesn't kick me off because it did before. Now it's instrumental, so
Okay, so all right, you learn.
Yeah, I tried to do it before. That was like, I was like, oh, okay.
Because Instagram doesn't play about their copyright. Okay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
How are you doing? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
I'm excited. We're talking about dealing with your distractions with finesse, so I had to put on a little Bruno Mars for us.
All right, Bruno Mars. All right,
Right?
Finesse. I got
I'm
it.
excited. I need this
I
conversation.
got
This
it.
conversation's for me.
This is for you because you about to get distracted with the summertime and stuff.
Yeah, it's already starting, but it's okay. We're gonna nip it up today. Oh, I think we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but it is okay. Oh, Maria's video is gone. It's alright. Instagram is having a moment. It's fine. It might be because of the music. Let me see. We're gonna have Maria join again, and then we can get started. It's the music. Instagram don't play about their copyright, so it's alright.
I was just
I
about
think it's from the
to say,
music.
it's the music.
Yeah.
Let's not even play around. Yeah.
Yeah. We was
Let's
trying to be
not even.
cute, but it's okay.
Instagram said, nah, yeah, we pick up the instrumentals too.
It's
All right.
okay. I
All right,
mean,
so let's jump in.
right. Instagram is alright. We got you.
Let's jump in because we got a lot to talk about. We can just start talking on the content base anyway, so it's all good.
Right. Okay, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing Embrace Her Legacy live show. For tonight's show, we're going to be talking about crushing your goals and mastering summer distractions with finesse. Because let's be real, legacy ladies, it's hard to get up and get things done when your friends are asking you, let's go to the beach, let's go to happy hour, because that sounds way more fun. But it's okay. We're going to fight that fear of missing out together. Like always, I'll be having this conversation with our founder and CEO and inspirational homegirl, Maria Melendez. And if you like what we do and you want to keep up with us, then make sure you follow us on all of our social medias, our YouTube, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook. And if you or someone you know is the age 14 to 19 and want to change your life this summer, we're going to be talking about self-confidence, conquering your inner saboteur, and learning how to embrace your legacy. Then make sure that you apply to our Summer Institute program that's going to be happening in NYC this July. And our application is going to be closing on June 9th. So do not miss your opportunity.
Hi,
And
Miss Sierra, the We
hi.
Nation stand up.
Hello,
I
hello.
found that Nazira is the kind, like she's so kind. Now that I know Nazira in person, I met Nazira in person. I'm like, you are the kindness coach, Nazira. Like, she is so kind. That's our We Nation family. Shout out to
Hello.
hello. And if you missed it, you can watch our content both on my page and the Embrace Alexi page. We had a ball on
We
Sunday. Just be
sure did.
right. Did that not set up like the week for us?
It
Like,
did. It was really a nice event. It was beautiful.
yeah. And if y'all want to see Embrace Her Legacy come through the events, we come through, we set up tables, we support our communities. Please don't feel free to hesitate. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We come through. We come through.
We do, we do.
We come through.
But yeah, like I said, you can apply to our Summer Institute program. The deadline is June 9th. And if you want more exclusive content from Embrace Her Legacy, like behind the scenes, then make sure that you subscribe to our Patreon page. And we have ebooks, different announcements, and some really cool stuff. So don't miss out. I linked it below. And that's it. Do you have anything else to add?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, you the hostess with the mostest.
Okay, I like that.
You're the hostess with the mostest.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, like I said, we're going to be talking about crushing your goals. So, let's start off strong. What are some healthy habits that help you maintain focus during the summer?
All right. First, I just want to start this off by saying happy like summer. I know the summer didn't officially start until the end of June 20 something, but
Mm-hmm.
Memorial Day, it's already summertime. So first and foremost, I just want to say happy summer to everyone, and I really do hope everybody has a great summer. I think some healthy habits to keep stay focused in the summertime, like you should already have a routine that already set you up for success,
Mm-hmm.
so you should have already established good habits January to May, or from prior years or prior months that you don't want to break, right? So just because it's summertime, you shouldn't be like, okay, now I'm not gonna wake up early and pray, or now I'm not gonna wake up early and go to the gym. Like that should already be in line. So I feel like the first thing, you should already keep your daily routine. You should already have some sort of like morning routine. You and I have spoke about that, waking up early. And I think it's so much easier to wake up early in the summertime because the sun comes up
Mm-hmm.
earlier, right? So it's easy to wake up at 5 or at 6 when you would normally wake up at 7 or 8 to get your stuff done. So that's one thing. And then if you feel a little distracted, like don't take advantage of those extra daylight hours. Get up early, get up a little earlier. Maybe, work on your goals a little later in the day. It's like, all right, cool. Let me go sit at a coffee shop with a nice view somewhere and work on my goals. So I think just take advantage of that. Um, Another way is get active and go outside. Like enjoy those outside events that you can't experience in other seasons. So I think that's a way to maintain some focus. I believe in work-life balance. You get what I'm saying? So I do want people to go out and enjoy themselves, but all in balance, and then not try not to do, because Isis, you said the happy hours and stuff like that. Like be aware of those late nights and early mornings for stuff like that, because that takes a toll on your body. So let's say
Mm-hmm.
you went to happy hour Tuesday, you went to Taco Tuesday, Wednesday you went to Margarita Wednesday, Thursday you went to
Thirsty
Buffalo Wings.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
Thirsty
know.
Thursday. By the time Friday comes, your body is spent. So I would say do that in balance. So try not to do too much late night, early mornings for things like that. And another thing is keep reviewing and tracking your goals in the summer. Like you should be revisiting your goals at the top of the month. Like what are the goals that you set at the beginning of the year? And measure your progress in June. This is a good time. A lot of us wait until the fourth quarter, until you know, September, October to start thinking about our goals. No, this is the smartest time. This should be your harvest season. This should be the time where you should have been putting in the work in those winter months, right? But if you didn't, this is a time to focus because nobody else is. This is the time. This is a really great time to focus on your goals if you fell off track. See what you need to like make any necessary adjustments for the goals that you said that you wanted to accomplish here. You have the rest of the year to get it done. So maybe you said you wanted to write the book and you didn't start. Well, start now. Maybe you said that you wanted to start your business. So checking in with yourself.
Oh,
Leave it to Nadira to talk about checking. Okay, that's good. Yes, that's great. So yeah, now check where you are navigation wise, and I would say start getting ready for the next season, right? So look at the patterns from the years prior. I know now in doing this work with Embrace Her Legacy what the fall is going to bring. I know that August tends to be a slower month. I know that September things slowly start to pick up. Then we go October, November, December. Prep for that. So you know what you look at the seasons and the ebbs and the flows in your life. If you know that the fall is really busy for you, then prepare for that. If you know the fall isn't busy for you, prepare for that. So I would just look at the calendar ahead and prepare for those things that are coming, whether you need to prepare financially, mentally, relationally, whatever you need to do. So those are my tips for healthy habits and maintain. Oh, and then drink lots of water. Stay
yes.
hydrated because it's nice hot now. But it be them 100-degree, 90-degree, sweaty, sweltering days, but it's like not so nice hot. So just be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like checking your
Yeah.
GPS when you're on the road trip. Are
Uh-huh,
you still going the right
uh-huh,
way? Yeah, I like
uh-huh. And you
that.
still going the right way. You want to check in and see, are you still going the right way? Yeah.
No, absolutely. For me, you hit the nail right on the head. I was gonna say this is something that I actually do practice. June is like my cutoff time. It's like, all right, usually I like to review in May, but I'll just say June for this sake. It's like, all right, what goals did I set in January? What was supposed to be my New Year's resolutions?
Mm-hmm.
Did I start them? Do they still make sense? Where am I progress wise? Like, am I still in the beginning? Like, what can I do to get to the middle or towards
Mm-hmm.
the end? I'm looking at the short term goals that I set in January, the long term goals that I set. I know that summertime you want to have fun, and I know myself. I also do want to have fun, and it's for me. I struggle with the work life balance. So how I do it, I look at my short term goals. I'm like, what can I get done by the end of the summer? And then I look at my long term goals and is what is one more step I can take to get there during the summer. Because I feel like that alleviates that stress of like, I want to have fun, but I also want to handle business. So that definitely helps. We may go to the gym after the, yeah, I feel like moms, well, y'all got it going on. Y'all make it work. You still have your social life and take care of the kids. And I really do admire that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the ways that I do it. I just sit down with my journal and think about the short and long term goals. For me, $1 million mindset, get up early in the morning because there's 24 hours in a day. And if you spend most of it sleeping, then you're not accomplishing your goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like to wake up early, even if it's just me praying, thinking, stretching, at least getting my body moving. That really does help me. For me, I don't like sitting at a desk to do my journaling or to do goal slaying. Our goal slaying course, make sure to check that out. I like to go to the park. I like to sit on a bench and just be like, okay, I'm one with nature. I'm touching grass. What can I do to get myself focused? I feel like just sitting and listening to the birds chirp, just being in nature really does help me focus. So I definitely like to do that, especially in the morning because nobody's outside.
Okay.
Yes. And the last thing that I like to do is be realistic with myself because the summer, like I said, you do want to have fun. So it's like you're saying, oh, yeah, that long term goal is going to be done by August 1st. It's like that might not be realistic or
Mm-hmm.
feasible. So it's like think about the things that you really can do because I feel like we just are like, nope, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and D. And it's like, if you know that maybe you can't get there right now, it's like do things that you know will take you to the next step. And
Okay.
I agree with you with for the next season. It's like, all right, the fall time is coming. The things that you're doing now are gonna set you up for then. So it's like, how can you get yourself prepared? So to-do list as well. I feel like those help me. I have a summer to-do list actually. Can't show you right now because my room looking a little crazy, but it's my summer to-do list of what I want to get done. And I'm already checking stuff off. So it's like I feel like making it cute, kind of like a vision board, but making it cute and pretty so they can be like, all right, I'm getting stuff done. Like, all right, I'm already halfway through my list. Like something physical that you can look at and be like, oh, I'm actually doing the work. It helps a lot. So that's what
I
I would say.
love it. I think those are all great ideas. I think those are great.
Hmm. So you kind of touched on it a little bit about work-life balance. So how do you keep a healthy relationship between your social life and work during the summer?
I think like it's important, like you said, I says be realistic with yourself and give yourself room to have fun, right? So I think like in my head, I have calendared certain events that I'm like, okay, I want to go to that, right? So I'm like, I want to go to that, I want to go to that, I want to go to that. That is a TBD, right?
Hmm.
So I think you will decide what's priority for you first and foremost. So when something is a priority, whether it is to go to a certain event or to support a friend at an event or to work on your goals during the summer, you have to decide what's priority to you and make the decisions that align with your priorities and your goals. You got to stay disciplined. So, Isis, you said that you like to journal in the morning, talking to a walk, taking a walk. So I would say like make sure that you're making that a priority so you can balance between social life and stuff. And also like honestly decide which one of them social, like do you have to be at every social event. Like, decide which ones are important to you. Like, because a lot of us, we get invited to millions and one of things all the time. So I would say, what's the priority in your social life right now? Like, is it because your social life includes hanging out with maybe your partner? That's part of your social life. Your family, your friends, going to after work events, baby. They in the summertime, everybody has an after work happy hour situation. Everybody's at, like, June. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating. For the month of June, there's a social event that I've been invited to for the whole month, for the entire month. Everybody's like, "Come
You
here,
are
come."
booked and busy.
Thank
Okay.
you, honey. Who's gone? Who? I don't know.
Well, you've
Like, cause
been
I'm like,
invited, but
I've been
you don't know
invited,
yet.
right? I've been invited from the barbecues to everything. I've been invited to the rooftop situations. Everybody's like, come through. And I'm like, okay, I would love to go. But then I know certain events are on a Sunday. I know I'm in high time with Embrace the Legacy. Summertime, I don't know what it is to take a summer off, because summers is our hustle season, right? We're doing our summer program. So I'm thinking, like, all right, Maria, if you go to that event on a Sunday, you might be a little tired come Monday morning because you were out, you were hanging out late. It's fun. You forget because the sun is out till 8, 9 o'clock at night. You forget that it's 8 o'clock. So because the program is a priority for me right now, I may have to say no to certain things. I want to make sure I'm rested, I'm rejuvenated, so Monday morning I can hit the ground running. Again, my social life, I'm making up my priority right now is delivering that summer program. My priority is making sure that my clients, all my work, I'm on top of my work. That's my priority. The social stuff, it's part of it, but I've embedded my social life for the things that I think are important. I'm like, all right, there's a certain situation. There's certain things I've been on my calendar that's happening this month that came on my calendar months ago, and I'm like, okay, no, that's a priority. I need to be there. So I think the word here is decide what's a priority to you, and you don't have to go to every event. Like I said, I have events conflicting with another. I'm like, none of y'all might see me. None of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I may not go to any. So and then yeah. So I think it's you staying disciplined. Staying very disciplined in the summer. That's the word that a lot of people don't like to hear. Like, so again, the word no is a full sentence. Like, so if you feel like, hey, I can't make it, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to make it. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Shoulder
Yeah.
shrug. They say, I can't go. I got other priorities right now, especially if you're trying to save money. That's another one. Oh God, like, and people don't like to have that conversation. It's like sometimes it's summertime. Do you know giving in churches, giving in not everything goes giving, like charitable giving, whether it's fundraise, whether it's nonprofits, so the churches goes down in the summer. It's a fundraising trend. So a lot of times summertime we're spending a lot more money because you're out longer. So think about that. And think about those things about your social life and balance and work life in the summer. Have your fun, but make sure you maintain your priorities. What about you? What you say, Isis?
I said this a few lives ago. I really, really struggle with this concept, having like a good social life and work life balance, because I'm always work, 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 work. But the summer is my like wind down time when I like to enjoy myself. So for me, before the summer even began, I told my friends, I'm like, yo, my birthday's at the end of the summer. I have a lot of big things that I want to do for myself. I'm a luxury girl. I have some things I might also want to purchase. And I'm like, yo, I won't be seeing me that much this summer. Y'all will see me, just not as much. And they were like, oh, haha, girl, you playing. And there's already been times where I'm like, sorry, I can't make it. Bookie saving money. So yeah, and that's just what it is. But for me, I feel like I find myself getting very tiresome with all the work. So it's like for me, I'm like, all right, you work your little 9 to 5. It's like, what can you do from then on? Because there are 24 hours in a day. So how can you cater to yourself? Because for me, taking time to enjoy myself is like a form of self-care, because I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly in work mode. So how do I maintain a healthy relationship between social life and work life? I always make sure I can at least get on the phone with one of my friends every day. If I'm not going out to hang out with you guys, at least I could get on the phone with you. Be like, hey girl, what's going on? How was your day? XYZ. When I'm out of work, work stays at work. It's like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So Please don't text me or call me about work unless it's like do or die and I have to help
Mhm.
you. This is a little bit different with Embrace because we're constantly on
Mhm.
the phone. But it's like if my job, my physical where I'm at
Mhm.
work job, it's like please don't call me.
Mhm.
Um, that boyfriend, I have a boyfriend, so trying to maintain that is very difficult as well. But sometimes like, hey babe, like let's not do a date this week. Maybe let's do a date in 2 weeks. When the social media talk when they're like, oh, you guys become adults and you don't see each other for like 3 months on end. That's me.
Mhm.
So just understanding what is a priority to you and just allowing the people in your life to kind of know that you don't have to get too specific, but be like, hey, I have things that I want to work on. If you rock it with me, then cool, you'll understand. And we're just going to figure it out and I'll see you when I can.
Mhm.
And making sure that the circle that you keep yourself around understands that and respects that. And I feel like not only do you have to have your priorities, but you also have to set your boundaries because people, it's the summertime. You want to go and have fun, but it's like the work doesn't stop. The goals don't go on pause. So it's like, unless you allow them to. So it's like just making sure that everybody in your life understands that just how important they are to you, they should be important enough to them for them to be like, you know what, let me step back and let them do their thing. So being vocal can definitely cater to the healthy relationship between work and social life. And writing things down, I know if somebody invites me to something today, I will not remember by tomorrow if I don't write it down. So keeping yourself organized in that way and being respectful of other people's time when they do invite you out places. If today is Wednesday and somebody invites me out for Saturday, I'll be like, you know what, I'll let you know by Friday the latest that I
Mhm.
can't make it, just so that they know like ISIS won't be showing
Right.
up. So just those little things can definitely help cater to your social and work life balance. And don't work too hard now. Don't get
Mhm.
burned out, y'all, because it's real. And just be gracious
Ah,
as you're going through your goals. Be gracious with yourself while you're going through these goals.
I like that. Being gracious with yourself is, and like I said, and take advantage of the longer days with your social life.
Mm-hmm.
So take advantage of that, but do it mindfully because you could be out 8, 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and now you got to go to work in the morning. So for me, it's like, nah,
I've done it. It's not fun.
it's
I had
not
a ball the night before, but then you at work at the desk like, oh, I need like 3 cups of coffee right now.
right.
So
Exactly. You're
be
tired.
careful.
It's like I get it. Sometimes it's worth it, but for me, for the most part, it's like like I know, like the time of the summer program, I am locked and loaded. Those 2 weeks, don't ask me to come in unless it's like the Friday, the
Mm-hmm.
the first Friday that I've gone out after that. But even then, I'm like, no, don't speak to me until July 19th.
Yeah,
Like until July 19th, then we could talk about going out. But baby, them days, I'm like,
you locked and loaded.
I'm locked and
Tunnel
loaded.
vision.
Yeah, tunnel vision, locked and loaded, tunnel vision.
So I kind of like tapped into this a little bit, talking about boundaries. So how can we set clear boundaries for ourselves and our friends to help us stay on track in the summer? And I really want to hear what you have to say because you are the boundary queen.
I am. I gotta actually this. I'm a boundary creator, and I'm still learning.
Hmm.
I'm still learning about boundaries. I think to set clear boundaries for yourself and your friends to stay on track in the summer, be a woman of your word. And what do I mean by that? If you profess something that is important to you, then you have to practice it so people can know that you're serious and you're not sending confusing messages to your friends, to your partner, to your family, or something, whatever. So you can profess you want to focus on maybe having a healing girl summer, but then you're outside every day. So your friends are looking at you like, wait, girl, you said you didn't want to go outside like that this summer, but you outside. You doing the most, right? So, or you profess you want to save money, but you're booking trip after trip, going to happy hour after happy hour, eating out all the time. So now I'm looking at you like, well, maybe she's not serious. Maybe I can reach out to her about coming out, hanging out. So you got
Hmm.
to be someone who practices what you preach, honestly, so people know that you're serious and people respect your boundaries. So in the system, in the example, Isis, you said that you were saving money. If so when I reach out to Isis and Isis says no, she's saving money. I'm gonna now respect that boundary
Hmm.
when I'm reaching out to her. If I am gonna reach out to Isis and say, you know what, Isis, I know you saving money. Do you want to come out? Out, it's on me. So I think when you communicate where you are with your friends, it helps people understand. Like, all right, let's not reach out to Isis because she want to save her money. That she wants to do her thing for the end of the summer for her birthday. bada bing, bada boom. So those are the types
Mm-hmm.
of things I would say. And then honestly, have your friends hold you accountable. You get what I'm saying? So if you did say that you wanted to save money this summer and you want to stay on track for your financial goals, if you did say you wanted to start writing the book, if you did say you wanted to go back to working out, I would say use your friends to your advantage, your circle, your community people, and hold each other accountable. So when you do want to come out with them, or let's say they're all booking a girls trip to Mexico. And you're like, oh my God, I want to go. And your friends are like, no, you said you wanted to save the money. Remember, you said you want to get out of debt. You want to pay that credit card debt. I think good friends hold each other accountable. So
Mm-hmm.
those are my suggestions around, setting clear boundaries with ourselves and our friends to help us stay on track. Communication, being a woman of your word, practicing what you preach, and, having them hold you accountable.
No, absolutely. I was gonna say that that's my top one, like using your friends to your advantage. Like if I tell, I'm putting my bestie on spot, Jocelyn. If I tell her I want to save money, and she asks, she will always extend the invite, like, "Oh, I'm going out. Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, like how much is it?" And she gives me the price. I'm like, "Oh, that's fine." She'll be like, "Actually, no. You said that you want to save." I'm like, "But I want to go." She's like, "No, you have bigger things that you need to be worried about. So nope, you're not going." I'm like, "Okay." And it's like when it takes me back, it's like, oh shoot, like not you holding me accountable, but it's like, you know what? That $100 I would have spent going out is like I'll be happy when it's still in my bank account. And it's like, okay, I'm one step closer to my goal. She was right. So like using them to your advantage. It's gonna hurt and you're gonna be like, I feel like I'm missing out on everything. But it's like, no, it's okay. Because when the summer's over and you could check that box, you're gonna be like, yes, perfect. So
Mhm.
that's one thing. With partners, I feel like it's a little bit difficult because, of course, it's the summertime. It's hot. Y'all want to go out on dates. But it's like if you guys have a very strong foundation and can say, hey, babe, like maybe not this week, but within the next 2 weeks or next week, I feel like that's a good thing. For me, my significant other already knows where I am financially and how I want to save for my birthday. They're
Mhm.
like, oh, like, let's do things that are on the cheaper side. Like, let's do mini golfing because there's a place in the city. It's like $10. We can do picnics. We can go try different food. It doesn't have to be wine and steak and all that good stuff, but we can just try different food places. He was like, don't worry about it. He was like, you shouldn't really be worried about finances anyway when it comes to dates because, boo, I got you. But still, it's just like, if I'm worried about them, I'm also worried about his too. So it's like setting boundaries, but also being respectful of him. So when it comes to, I guess, maybe for me it's financial, but if it's like writing your book, it's like, hey, I can't go on a date right now because I'm having some good thoughts and this book get written tonight, so give me a second. Just letting them know what the goal is so they're aware of it, and then also just not being afraid to be like, hey, nah, I'm
Right.
working on this, because if they're truly your friends, truly care about you, then they'll be okay with it. I
Okay.
feel like closed mouths don't get fed. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're not speaking up and letting the people around you know or kind of have an idea of what you want for yourself, then
Right.
they can't assist you in what you want to get done.
Okay.
If I don't tell my boyfriend like, oh, I'm saving, and he's like, oh, let's go out. I want you to buy this expensive dress because we're going to a steakhouse. I'm like, whoa, that doesn't work for me. He's
Right.
like, but why not? I thought you was a big baller. So, just letting people into your life just a little bit so that they're on the same page as you. I feel like that was a stepping stone to those boundaries.
Okay. I like that. And like you said, it's a little different with partners because, like you said, and I love that you're being conscious and mindful of his pockets. And let me tell you, you can get away with so many cheap dates in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say some of the best, but I've had some. You know what? I will say some of the best dates I've had have been in the summertime, and they've been over outside, like
Mm-hmm.
things that like you said, picnics in the park. We've done those several times. I did like a boat. Someone took me on a boat last summer, and that was a great time. There's a free boat, not a free boat. It's a $5 boat that takes you around the city. Like it goes from 34th Street to Dumbo and stuff like
Is
that.
it
I'm pretty sure that was like,
ferry?
it's like a ferry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a ferry, but I had never been on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when he took me on that, I was just like, oh wow. So someone took me on that, and that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much you can do, even if you're just sitting outside in the park with a cup of coffee in your hand
Mm-hmm.
and just talking about some ice cream. It's more about the company in the summer. And I think just honestly, just being outside, walking, holding hands, somewhere in Prospect Central Park, whatever, that could be a great time in itself. Y'all pack y'all, pack your stuff, maybe you pack whatever it is you want to eat. And y'all can just go out and stroll outside. But there's so much to do in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
That's free. Again, take advantage. Oh, and then I just saw this, like Central Park has movie night. It's like a free movie night.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's like they put like legend, like iconic movies
yeah. Mm-hmm.
that you can come sit in a, with a blanket, your boo. I think,
Oh, that's
yeah. So I
actually
think
really
on
nice.
they have like Boomerang. They're playing Boomerang.
Okay.
A couple of other like those classic movies. So I think again, take advantage of those outside events in the summer if you're trying to. One of your goals is trying to save money throughout the summer.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we touched on it a little bit. So, how can we overcome the feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out, when we choose to stay focused on our goals and work rather than going out during the summer?
Isis, you said something, and you said it's gonna hurt
It
it's gonna hurt when it's like, oh, I can't go, I'm choosing to exercise discipline and not go.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying, I believe Jim Rohn said it. He says you can experience the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So you get to decide which
Mm-hmm.
one you want to choose. Isis, you kind of said it already. The pain of discipline, it hurts now. But at the end of the summer, when you're looking at your bank account, you seeing all them zeros on zero,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're gonna feel good about yourself. Now, if you choose to go with your feelings and get an immediate, you have to subdue the part of you that wants immediate satisfaction. You have to be willing to deal with temporary discomfort because our emotions, our flesh, we want to be immediately satisfied. So, oh, let me go get this steak dinner because it's going to make me happy. You know what I'm saying? So you have to subdue, you have to crucify that part of you, for a lack of a better word, crucify your flesh, which is that you're doing, and you're going to experience the pain of discipline. It hurts. It's not comfortable. But you could decide to not do it, satisfy your temporary satisfaction with going out, a meal, a vacation, and then that pain
Mm-hmm.
of regret that you'll feel at the end of the summer. And you're like, dang, I blew $2,000 on that trip. I shouldn't have went. It wasn't even worth it. Blah blah blah. Dee. So I say that to answer your question. I'm like, choose either the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Which ones do you want to experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're gonna have to experience the pain anyway. So might as well go with the pain of discipline. And
Right.
it's temporary. It's temporary. And in this instant gratification world, you have to, okay, that's what you have to be willing to endure delayed gratification. That's what it is. That's what it is about your goals, about reaching your goals, about you can't do it all at the same time if you're trying to get somewhere. You have to be okay with saying no to going out, saying no to staying out to 4 o'clock in the morning, and being like, So that's what I would say. Practice delayed gratification so that, when you can experience the pain of discipline over the pain of regret.
All
What would
right.
you say?
I like that. I feel the same way. I kind of touched on it a little bit. There's been, for me, let me say this. When my friends are gonna be going on a trip, or maybe they're just gonna be hanging out without me, and they always will extend the invite, but like if I have a goal that I'm trying to set and I'm like, okay, no, I can't make it, or it just doesn't align with my schedule, sometimes I really do get FOMO, like the fear of missing out. So for me, I'm like, all right, y'all posting on your story having a good time. I'm happy that y'all are having a good time, but it's like, I'm feeling a little bit left out or sad that I'm not there. I don't watch the social media. Like I don't watch the stories because I'm like I know how that's gonna make me feel, even if they're not doing it intentionally. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna cancel that out. I'm not gonna look at the social media. That definitely helps me a lot. And just understanding that if I'm working hard now, like you said, I could be smiling at my bank account at the end of the summer. So it's like, yeah, I might miss out on that trip. I might miss out on that beach day, but God willingly, I'll have another one.
Okay.
So that's what I like to focus on, the fact that I can always book a trip. I can always go to the beach. But this opportunity that I'm trying to get to might not be around if I make the wrong choice. So it's like, if you have the tools and you have the control to get to where you want to be, then take the opportunity because the parks are going to be there, the happy hours are going to be there. They're not closing up shop once the summer is over, maybe the beach, but but everything else will be open. So it's like take the time. And to be fair, the beach is free, so you could go. But that's what I like to focus on, the fact that that goal is just a little bit more in reach. So yeah, I'd rather do the discipline and be hurt over the fact of that than anything else. So that's what keeps me going. And take a social media break if you feel like all the trips and all the different things is making you a little sad, because there's nothing wrong with that.
I like that. I never thought about that. Not looking at people's pages if you know they're out
Hmm.
and about and on the trip. I like
I
that.
feel like a lot of people don't like to admit the fact that they do have FOMO, or that they might be a little bit sad that they're not hanging out with their friends,
That's
because it's
good.
like, I'm feeling left out. It's like it might not even be their friend's fault, but it's like, social media, you can hit log out and boom, that's it.
Okay. I agree. I agree. That was good,
Hmm.
Isis. I'm gonna start doing that anytime I experience FOMO.
Hmm. You love taking a social media break. I learned that from
I am
you.
good. I am lethal. Okay, with social media, I do them at least once, twice a month over the weekends when I just want to decompress. Oh
Hmm.
God, I recently took one. I come to like 2, 3 weeks ago. I sat in this apartment and watched the Netflix series on travel and stuff like that, and that was so refreshing. I wasn't on my phone, and
Hmm.
I was just like I wrote down like maybe 3 to 4 new travel destinations. And I was like, oh,
Really?
I'm going there, I'm going there, and I'm going there. It was so restorative. So, yeah, man, take social media breaks. They're necessary.
Okay, I like that. Maybe I need to watch
Yeah,
that.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. So my next question is, are there any specific goal setting frameworks that you find effective when you're trying to tackle your summer distractions? Because I need to
Okay.
know.
There's several. We about to have a gold class, okay? I'm about to teach y'all some stuff that we teach in our academy. So first, goal strategy or goal framework is setting SMART goals. So you want to make sure your goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific. So you want to make sure that your SMART goals. So you can't say, "Oh, I want to have fun this summer. I want to lose weight this month." A SMART goal would be, I want to go to 3 social events. I want to go to that concert, that pool party, and that
Hmm.
barbecue by the end of July. It's specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, and it has a deadline. It's time specific. Instead of saying I want to lose weight, it's like, no, you know what? By August 31st, I want to make sure I've lost 10 pounds. Specific, measurable. It has a deadline. So that's one thing. Another thing is to have monthly goals. I have monthly goals. So I have like June, July. So I would say having mini goals. If you want to have 30-day goals, 60-day goals, 90-day goals, those are ways that you can help. And again, make sure your goals are specific. Always make sure those are your SMART goals, whether it's 30, 60, 90, end of year goal. I do my weekly action steps, my goal slaying Sundays. So
I like that.
yeah, goal slaying Sunday. I set myself on a Sunday, and I write out my goals for the week. I look at my goals for the month. I revisit my goals for the year, and I'm like, wait, it's kind of like my GPS. So I look over that and I write down my action steps that I'm going to take towards that goal the for the week. So let's say if I said I wanted to have a goal to submit 5 grant proposals this month, the week I'll be like, all right, girl, so you need to start working on that proposal this week. Or if I said I wanted to have 4 lives on Embrace Her Legacy for
Hmm.
the month. That's when I'll be like, hey guys, we need to go live 4 times this week. That's coming out of my goal time. I'm like, because I said I wanted to do 4 lives this week. So those are the type of things. And I would then, just like I said, just set small action steps for the week so you decide what that looks like for you. Another thing is categorize your goals, right? So I have goals in categories like my spiritual, my faith-based goals. You may have emotional, mental health goals. You may have personal development goals, fitness, health goals, education, career, family, relationship, business, friendship goals. Those are really important. I have friendship goals that I'm like, I want to pay this for my friend. I want to do this for my friend. So obviously your financial goals, and then your lifestyle, leisure, and fun goals. So those are ways that you can say, what are my categories, right? Or you could just have top 10 goals. Try not to, so when it comes to these goals, I try not to go, because then we go into 5 and 10 year plans. I would say
Mm-hmm.
set your goals within the next 12 to 18 months,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those That's a good norm. That's what they say is a good time frame. More like you said, for the next couple months. And this is a good one that I like to do, and it's how I got my book published, and it's how the Embrace Your Legacy Academy really came about. So I learned this from personal development motivational speaker Jim Rohn. He's no longer with us. He passed away, and it's called like creating an action plan for your goals. So because sometimes goals look so insurmountable, like there is no how am I gonna get that book published? You know, how am I going to have that program for young women? So what you do is you set the goal. So you write the goal on this sheet of paper. Let's say you write it at the top of your sheet of paper. I'm going to write a blank. I'm going to see a blank. I'm almost at the end. So you write the goal at the top of the sheet of paper or on your notepad. And then under the goal, you're going to list all your possible and available resources to help you achieve that goal. So sometimes the only resources you know is Google. And I'm going to show you how that worked for me, right? Sometimes it could be a friend, a relationship. List out everything. Don't limit yourself. Like, okay, boom. What do I know or what do I have access to help me get to that goal? All right. So that's step 2. Step 3, you're going to, after you listed all your possible resources, you're going to decide, you're going to classify your resources and decide which ones are a sure thing. All right, I can do this. I know I want to work at that company. Maybe I have a relationship with someone. I'm going to send that email, right? Then the final part is to break each of those resources into steps of preparation and then start pursuing the goal. So let's say if you said, all right, you want to work at Google. I don't know. You're like, there's no way. How am I going to get to work at Google? And maybe you went on your LinkedIn and you realized that someone that you went to high school with, they work at Google. So now you're like, okay, one of your steps of preparation is, all right, let me reach out to that person on LinkedIn and let me maybe set up a coffee date with that person on a Zoom date. So this is what I mean. It's like a steps of breaking. It's like makes the goals attainable. So I'm going to share with y'all a testimony of how this worked for both my book and the Embrace Your Legacy Academy. So for the book, I wanted to have my book published. This is back in 2014. I had already ebooked it, but I took it off and I went back and I added and I said, I think I want to publish this. I wrote the goal down. I didn't know I didn't know an author. I didn't have any author friends at the time. Now I have several of them. I didn't have any author friends. I don't know anything about writing a book. So when it came to writing down the resources, baby, the only resource I had was Google. So I went and I Googled it and I was like, well, how do you publish a book? Stuff like that. And it were 2 ways. Either I could self-publish, which would take a lot of financial backing, or I would have to get like a literary agent, or I would have to send it directly to the publishing houses. If like smaller publishing houses, and I knew that a literary agent was more like you had to be like Hillary Clinton level to get a
Oh,
literary agent. Like
okay.
I don't want to say it like that, but literary agents tend to work with people who know that it's gonna be an easy sell for them to go sell to a publishing house, right? Literary agents wasn't checking for a regular schmegular girl from Brooklyn, New York, like. So I was like, all right. So I realized that I needed to create a book summary. This is all I found out on Google for the book, so that I could send to literary agents and publishing houses. Did that like small, and I knew I wasn't going. I was at the time. I understood that all right. The likelihood of me getting published by like a big publishing house, like a Simon and I forget the Simon and Schuster or a big publishing house. I was like, that's fine. Let me go for smaller ones. So I broke that down. I said I made a list of like 15 small publishing companies. I did my book summary. I also did a list of literary agents, and I sent out that book summary to all those literary agents, and one of them, one of the publishing houses said yes, and that is how my book got published. Literally following this message, I didn't know anything. In June 2015, almost 9 years to the date, it came out June 16th, 2015. My book came out. So that's
Well,
how
happy
I went.
almost birthday to the
Thank
book.
you, thank you. And I also did that with the program, the Embrace Your Legacy Academy. I had no idea how to do what I do. I started the program to launch summer 2015. I had one girl apply, so obviously I couldn't do it. So after I cried about it, I bossed up, did this, and I realized that I had access to people from the Opportunity Network. No, I realized I had access to people from the Opportunity Network and another woman who had a nonprofit similar to myself, and it wasn't a nonprofit, but at the time, but she did the work. So I reached out to her, did the meetings with her, reached out to Ahmed, had meetings with her, and I realized that I had a horrible marketing strategy. So then I went back after I took those steps of preparation. I realized the resources I had. I went set up meetings with them. Per those meetings, I then realized that okay, I could have a partnership opportunity. And when per my other meetings, I realized I had a bad marketing strategy. So I went back, implemented what I learned from those meetings, and then the rest was over. Game over after
Mm.
that. And the program took off, and then I changed our marketing strategy. So that was just a testimony for somebody to see, like, sometimes with your goals, you don't have to change the goal. Sometimes you just got to change the strategy to get there. A lot of us get overwhelmed. I don't know anything about owning 60 properties, or I don't know anything
Mm-hmm.
about buying a house. Like, this is how you break your goals down into little smaller goals. So that was a preview of what we teach at the Embrace Her Legacy Academy, because that's actually part of the course. I teach the girls on day 3 about becoming a goal slayer. And I believe I taught this. This is a bit this our goals class is available for. Is it? It might be on our Patreon. It's either on our Patreon or you can
It's
get.
on our website.
It's on
I,
our website. It's for
mm-hmm.
free one. Yeah. It's our goal
Yeah.
slaying class. Yeah, so you can download that class for free at embracealexi.com, and the link is in our bio.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing
Thank
that. Because it
you.
definitely goes to show you can have a goal. You just got to change the direction a little bit to get
Yes. And you might fail the first time. You dust yourself off and try again.
there. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So for me, when we were talking about frameworks, I'm like, I don't think I know any special things to do when it comes to setting goals. But shout out to the opportunity at work because when we were doing college searching, they showed us the Whoop goal setting strategy. So they used to be like, whoop, whoop, because it's supposed to be exciting.
Mm-mm.
So WOOP, the W is wish. So basically, what you desire, what you want to happen for you. The first O is the outcome. So think of the best outcome that you could have if your goal is fulfilled. Then the other O would be your obstacle. Potential challenges or any hurdles that you might face when you're trying to achieve these goals. And then the P is the plan. So a concrete plan to achieve that wish. So I'm going to go back into what I was going through when I was looking for colleges. So my wish ultimately was one to go to college and two go to college where it was nice, so a little bit down south.
Mm-hmm.
The best outcome for me would be exactly that, going to a college that's down
Mm-hmm.
south. Obstacle, I knew that, financial aid, out of state tuition versus in-state tuition, all of those good things. I had a whole list. When I tell you that list was hefty of all the things that could have went wrong, I'm like, all right, let me prepare myself. And then I had my plan. I knew that all these different schools have certain deadlines. I was writing that essay early. I was like, as soon as the applications are open day one, mine is going in. Like, I was that girl. When I tell you I applied to so many colleges because I just had my mind all over the place, I'm like, why am I going to limit my options? So when it comes to setting a goal, the way that you were like, oh, what are your resources? I guess it goes hand in hand. Like, what are the opportunities that you can take, or what are the resources that you have to get to your goal? So that's what I did. I'm like, why would I stop myself and apply to 5 colleges when I can apply to maybe 15? So that's what I did. I did the FAFSA very early. I was like, Mom, I need those tax papers. I need my money. So of course I started getting the acceptances. I got a few denials, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started to really sit down and think about the financial portion, I'm like, wait, yes, I'm getting accepted, but I still owe like $30,000 of my own money because of the lack of
Okay.
funding. So I'm like, my goal at the beginning, or the wish or desire, was to go to college. Did I want it to be in a place that was warm? Yes. But the most important part of that goal was going to
Mm-hmm.
college. I'm like, you know what? It's not looking very good for the out of state warm part, but at least I know that I could get a higher education.
Good.
So it turned into shifting my goal to being just getting to a school that worked the best for me. And I ended up going to Brockport. It was cool for the moment. I had to switch that up. I ended up going to Whoop, and then I ended up at Lehman. But hey, I figured it out. So Whoop, I feel like is a good way to start your goals. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like setting the SMART goal, like how you broke
Mm-hmm.
it down, is like the next step for sure. But I feel like the Whoop is a good way to like start.
Okay.
Hmm.
You know what? What we need to then teach in our next goals class. That's what it is. That's what we need to
We
do.
need an
That's
updated one.
we
That's
need
what
to
I meant.
update it. I want to add the Whoop strategy to our class.
No,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I really did help. So I want to double back on the goal slang because we could say we want to do something, but how are we gonna get there? So how can we create a seamless plan that will still work while we're transitioning from summer vacation to regular work life? Once September hit, things change. So how can we do that?
I think you gotta have your tasks and things written down. Write it down. Write it down. Write it. Type it up. Write it down. Put it somewhere. You got write it down so that you know what your things are. All right. I want to make sure I focus on this in September. I want to make sure that I can hit the ground running in this. And honestly, y'all, you shouldn't wait till September. I start thinking about the. I start thinking about the next year in like September, October. I'm Q4 is like wrap up because I'm already in 20 like I'm in 2025. The soon as this summer program ends, the year is over for me. I am like, okay, 2025 will be looking like. And you want to see your life as a corporation. You're the CEO. Well, I think I say the CEO. God is the real CEO of my life. Like, but you
But we
want
the
to
founder, I
you
guess.
get what I'm saying? God is the founder and executive chief officer of my life, right? But you want to see yourself as the president of your life. You're leading your life. And if you're leading a corporation, corporations, you think Pepsi and Coca-Cola don't and Nike don't have their 2025 marketing plans and campaigns ready and set to go? Of course they do. So they're thinking ahead. So if you're seeing your life and your family, you should definitely see yourselves as the leader of your family. You should definitely see your family as an organization of your mom, dad. So I would say think about where you want to be in September, August, October. Write that down so that when you come back, you're like, all right, what do I need to hit the ground running? Even if you're going on a summer break. So anytime I take time off for Embrace Her Legacy, if I'm on vacation for 2 weeks, before I go on vacation, I write down everything I know I need to focus on when we come back. So that when we notice, Isis, you've been around me, we never have it's like, no, we need to do this, we need to do that.
There's never a hiccup.
Yeah, it's never like a slow, like, well, what was this? Like, no, we got a calendar set. We have a marketing calendar. We're like, okay, we said we were going to go live this day. When I came back in April, because we only went live one time in April, we had already had the May live calendar set from March. We already knew that in the month of May we're going to be going live every week, right? So and then I said, all right, June we already have our live calendar for the month of June. July, I know that it's like, okay, we might be taking some time off with doing lives because we're going to be focusing on a program. Again, thinking ahead. So I would say write down what's important to you so that when you coming back for the summer break or the summer vacation at work, you know what tasks you need to focus on so you can hit the ground running. Like, honestly, I met someone recently who inspired me so much. And honestly, a lot of y'all make excuses. Okay, I met someone recently who his story inspired me so much. And I was like, a lot of us are given all the time and all the resources and we don't take advantage of it. Like, and there are people who would love to be in your position, who would love to have access to an education, who would love to have a job in a country like the United States of America, who would love to be pursuing their careers. Get off your tails. Stop making excuses and get to whatever it is you said you were going to do. A lot of us are lazy. A lot of us are not disciplined, whether it's with our money, with our time, with our talents. A lot of us are selfish. A lot of us are greedy. We're always looking out for what you can get from a situation, and you're too focused on what can serve you instead of figuring out how you can serve it. We gotta change some of our ways. You're not where you want to be because you don't you got to take accountability for where you are in your life. If you don't like it, and this is not to say those exceptions where life likes you and life throws you a curveball and you're in a situation is like, hey, I'm not
You
talking
mean
about
full control, like
right.
you have the control.
Right. But there's certain situations, I understand certain situations that are out of your control that happen. You lost a job, you something happened, family, illness. I get it. Or just you made bad, even if you made bad decisions. Own that. Say that I made some really messed up decisions. And that's why I'm in this situation. Like, stop being lazy, y'all. We don't got any excuses. We have so many resources. You have Google. I don't care. Figure it out. You don't know how to build a house? Google it. I was look, someone and I he shared his story with me today about what he did and what he took advantage of while he was in prison and what he was able to accomplish in prison. I said, "You did what?" He said, "Yeah, this is what I did. I made sure so that when I got out of prison, my credit score was a 797." I said, how? And he and I looked at myself, and myself said, Myself said, you have no excuse. None. You get what I'm saying? You have all the resources available to you to get where you want to go. It may not happen in your time the way you want it to do. You're gonna take you're gonna have some learning experiences. We're not gonna call them, failures. But get up and get to what you said you was gonna do. No excuses. No excuses. That's all.
You just read me. You just read the whole room. That's what we
No.
needed.
Oh my God. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need a little,
Wake up
a
call.
little wake up call. We need a pat on the back. There's
Hmm.
people who would love to have what you have. You have your health, you have your freedom, you have a phone, you have your right mind, you have, go. Why are you still talking? I don't want to hear in 2025, if you heard this, and in 2025, you haven't gotten closer to your goals, that's your fault. That is your fault.
Hmm.
That is your fault. You need to take that L and take it with pride. That I was lazy. I didn't get up early. I was undisciplined. I was too busy chasing things I had no things chasing. I wanted take accountability because I'm tired of us. And I'm getting myself together. I'm like, okay,
You
Lord,
getting me together.
I am getting myself together. It was a 797 credit score for me. I said, you know what? Ain't no way. Ain't no way that we out here giving all the resources, all the access, and
We're not using
we're
it.
not. We're not using it.
I would
So
like to say my generation, we're lazy. Like, and I feel like now, day and age with social media, like things are literally right in your face. And I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, I want to do this, or I want to be like a nail tech, I want to do that, I want to get my certification. It's like there's free courses, there's all these different things that are sitting right in front of you, and you're at home not doing it. And I could be like, I found this free class. I'm gonna send it to you. And I'm like, oh, like I could check in 2 weeks later. Did you do it? Nah, I
mm-hmm.
gotta figure out some time. You want that goal? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a 2 hour course that could get you what you need. You need to be doing it today.
You
Today.
got
I,
YouTube. Like, you understand what I'm saying? YouTube University, Google University. Figure it out. You
mm-hmm.
said you wanted it. And you know what frustrates me? We go so hard for our jobs. Your job says stay late, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your job says come early, you do it. But when it comes to yourself, you don't put that same amount of effort to your goals.
Whoa.
And you wonder why you are not living the life that you desire to live.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to experience delayed gratification. You want everything to be easy. You want everything to be handed to you. No. Get up off your bottom and get to work. This is, I tell people, yo, you got one life. There's no do-overs. There's no part twos. You got one, and you don't know how long you're going to be here. You don't know what life is going to throw you 10 years down the line that you're going to be like, dang, I wish I would have took advantage of that time when I
Mm-hmm.
had this. I wish I would do it. Do it. You got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's summertime, wintertime, spring, or fall. You should be going after yours. You should
Mm-hmm.
be going after you. You don't want to get to the end of your life and be like, I wasted my time. What did you have to show with it? Like, what do you have to show for the last 10 years of your life? What do you have to show for the last 5 years of life? And I'm talking to our audience. You should have something
Mm-hmm.
to show for it. I did this. And I'm not saying to put your meaning in your worth in working. No. We want to have the fun. We want to go on a vacation and do all the things, right? And it's okay, right? Like, yo, I built my family these last 10 years. Beautiful. You get what I'm saying? I went back to school these last 10 years. Beautiful. That's amazing. So you want to look at the next decade for your life and say, what is the next decade of my life? What am I have to say for myself? What do I
Mm-hmm.
have to show? What proof do I have that I was living out my legacy? Where's the
What
proof?
is in that I did that
What
file?
is
Okay.
in that I did that foul? What can you say I did?
Mm-hmm.
What can you say I did? So I'm telling you, it was my conversation um, with someone recently. I was like, Maria, you have no excuses. So this is no excuses. See, over here at Embrace the Legacy, we calling it game time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's game
If it's
time. Um,
game time for us, it's game time for y'all too. So if
it's
you
game
listening and
time.
watching, yeah.
It's game time. There's no hold back, you know. All right, but I kind of got off subject. That was
No,
calling,
it's okay.
but let's go back to creating a seamless plan. Back after coming off the summer vacation to stay focused.
I feel like for me, I try to whatever plan I'm setting in the summer, it should be so good that it transitions into the fall with ease. It's like if I'm waking up early, if I'm doing the work to get to my goal, it shouldn't really shift once the September, October's come. It might have to change maybe if you're like a teacher and you're off for the summer and then you start school. But for me, I'm always working. So it's like I would say if you're creating a good plan and good steps to get you to your goal, there's no need to really switch it up. Because I feel like for me, if I'm starting good and then I try to switch some things up, I'm like, whoa, now I'm back at square one again. I messed it up. Like, wait, I had the
Right.
momentum. So I would say if you start something in the summer that genuinely works for you, and you are, I can only speak for the 9 to 5 girlies, and it works for you, I would say
Mm-hmm.
just keep up with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you have to tweak it because like maybe you're starting a new job or maybe you're
Mm-hmm.
going to school, think about the parts of that plan that do work for you. It's like, okay, maybe my job is going to start at 7 a.m. So maybe I can't wake up at
Mm-hmm.
6 o'clock like how I wanted to. Maybe I need to start waking up at 5. Okay, cool. I want to get my day started a little early. Or it's like, oh, I get out of work at 6 p.m. It's like, all right, maybe I can't go to the gym at that time like how I used to in the summer. Maybe I have to go a little bit later. Am I gonna have the discipline to do that though? Because we can say, oh, I want to do these things. I feel like we confuse motivation and discipline. It's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But it's like, are you gonna do it though?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's something that I used to struggle with, and now I'm like, nah, I can say, oh, I want to go to the gym, I want to lose weight, or I want to do this, I want to save my money. But it's like, what are you doing to get there? Because you can talk the talk, but are you walking the walk? And I feel like that's something that's super important. And to go back to the seamless plan, it's like you want a full play, and when you have it, you're complaining. So it's like we have this plan to get the things that we want, and it's like we're doing it, and it's like, oh, but I'm tired, I'm this and this and that. And it's like, granted, I get tired. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like we want a full glass. And when we do get it, we're taking advantage or we're complaining about it. So, what you said before, it's like, what can you say that you did? And I feel like if you 10 years pass and you're like, oh, I can't really say that I was working on my goals, or I can't really say that I was doing these certain things for myself. Like I was just working or I was just lollygagging. It's like you don't want to be there because then it's like, wow, I feel like I wasted time. And it's like time is very precious, so make sure that you're using it properly. So I would just say, back to what we were saying before, set smart goals, both short term and long term. Implement the plans now. try different things during the summer because I feel like it is a time of downtime. So
Mhm.
if you want to try waking up early and you figure out that doesn't work for me, all right, let me switch gears. Figure out the plan now so that when you are going into the September, October, you already have it down packed and it's
Okay.
easy. Hmm.
I like that. I like that. We teach y'all. I feel like this is one of been our most meatiest lives because we could be cute and ha ha kiki on here, but we giving jewels.
Hmm.
We are dropping like this is meat and potatoes. Like, okay, we are giving you a good, healthy, robust meal for y'all to dissect. And if I were y'all, I would rewatch this live and take
Hmm.
notes and say, all right, she said this, she said that, she got me together.
No, you got me
I
together. I'm ready to
got
get my
myself
goals
together.
done tomorrow.
You know what I said? I said I'm setting my alarm for a half hour earlier. As
Right.
soon as you were talking, I said, "All right, Isis is right. I gotta wake up earlier. I'm setting my alarm for a half hour earlier." Like because it's like we pray and ask God to help us, and God is like, you gotta meet Him halfway. You can't be like you said.
Hmm.
I want to do this. I want to have a job. I want to have all the things. I want to be on the yacht in the south of France, and I want to, baby. That's not it's gonna take work, So
Hmm.
it's like so I'm like, I got myself together. I'm like,
Hmm.
Maria, you cannot, you cannot play yourself. So thank you. I needed this for me.
No, I needed this too. And I do really want to emphasize the fact that we do say we want full cups, but when we get them, we're like, it's too much work. No, baby. You wanted that full plate? You got to maintain it. You got to be
Baby,
appreciative of it.
baby, you said it. It's so funny. I was watching a pastor. He said when we pray for harvest, right?
Hmm.
Um, and he's like, when the harvest come, when you see farmers, when farmers plant a seed, they not anxious. They know that the seed is gonna
Hmm.
sprout and they're gonna whatever where they planted the corn. I don't know the apple trees. I don't know. He said harvest season is busy. You have to go and now pull out the fruit, the grains, the everything. That's work. So when we think harvest, we think, oh, God is just gonna bless me and it's gonna no, now you gotta work. So a harvest ISIS, we can't get mad when we have millions of applications to read through. We can't get mad when our calendars are, okay, girl, we gotta go here, we gotta go there, we gotta go there.
This is what we
Right,
wanted.
exactly. Well, now we gotta wake up early. Now we running on like 3 hours of sleep. It's harvest season. Oh, we gotta, So I think you have to understand that if you pray for something and you said you wanted a full plate, you wanted harvest season, it's gonna show up looking like work.
Hmm.
And in that moment, you better not complain about it, right? So that I don't know how we got here. This was God. God took over this
Right.
live, but baby,
I was just about to say, because the same way that God meets you halfway is the same way that He could take that little half back. Okay. So if it's coming up as work, it's because it's the inner work that you need to do to complete it, because He can only meet you halfway because you got to do the work.
I'm I'm go ahead. I ain't got nothing to say. He dropped the mic on that.
I needed
This
this.
I needed this too. Uh-huh.
All right. So I want to go to the next question because I feel like I have some things to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, what have been some struggles with maintaining focus during the summertime, and how did you overcome
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all my
it?
business. I'm gonna tell y'all
Hmm.
about summer 2007.
Hmm.
17 years ago. I can't even believe that. 17? Okay. So summer 2007 was probably one of I have summers in my life that were very transformative and very I would say they were revolving doors and very in the summer 2003 was one of them. Summer 2007 was one of them. Where I came home from school, I was going into my senior year at Hofstra University, and the truth of the matter is, I was so I didn't feel good enough for life after college. I felt like I wasn't good enough to go into corporate America. I felt like, what am I going to do? At the time, I was bartending and modeling, doing like regular schmegler stuff like that. And I met, I didn't meet, sorry. I started dating. Well, I got into a relationship with my then boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend now, and we was fall in love. So that summer I fell in love. I tend to fall in love in the summertime. I don't know what it is. I would say, yeah, all the guys are, it's not at all. The very select few, maybe two, men that I fell in love with in life, 3 at most. It was the summertime. So I fell in love. I have this new boyfriend and blah blah blah. So he's like all taking my time, going to spend time with him, and speaking about the struggle. And you know, I was just being a college kid, and my homegirl, we hung out. My homegirl at the time, we hung out to the wee hours in the morning, and we were in front of my building at the time. And she said, "Maria, what are you doing with your life? You're about to graduate college." And she read me for filth in front of my building in a good way. In a good way. She was like, "You out here spending your parents' hard-earned money on going out, hanging out, da 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 da. You out here spending it on the wrong things. You need to be thinking about your life after college. Like you need to be thinking about you have 1 year left at Hofstra University. You cannot be out here." She was like, "You out here playing." She said, "You out here playing house with your boyfriend, right?" And baby, that hurt, but I needed to hear it. As soon as she said that, I went upstairs to my house. I threw away all the stuff that was being a distraction in my life. I said, "That gotta go, that gotta go." I threw out things. And that Monday morning, I got my resume together. I started looking for jobs and I started looking for internships. Maybe like 2 weeks later, I had the internship at Atlantic Records, and I had a job at a bartending school, and I got myself together. And even with the boyfriend and with that, I said, "I don't know what you finna do, but I gotta get my life together." So that's how I managed to like overcome and stay focused. That was the time where I had a struggle maintaining focus. And again, I was in love. I was living my life. I don't want to say irresponsibly, but I was still doing things as a child, knowing that I had to grow up, knowing that I was about to graduate college, right? Knowing that real life was around the corner, but I felt, I dealt with feelings of low self-worth and just not feeling good enough. Like, you're this black girl from the hood. No one's going to want to work with you. You don't know anything. You're not smart enough. Mind you, I'm on Dean's List at Hofstra University. It was just that inner saboteur. So that talk with her got me together in front of my building, and it was a talk after us like shutting the club down. Like we went from spot to spot to spot. Probably went to breakfast after. It's like 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning in front of my building, and we sitting there talking. And we had that talk, and that's how that was the time that I overcame that struggle of staying focused. You know, you're in love, and I got my stuff together, and I ain't never looked back. I never looked back on staying focused. And you know, it's easy to be distracted when you're still a student and stuff like that. I didn't think about summer internships or anything like that prior to that, so it's easy to be distracted. But you know, that I would say like get focused, man. And that those decisions I made in the summer, I started interning and working in the fall and bartending and going to school, and that's when I'm gonna write a book about those 6 months of that life, because I was like, how did I make it? Like I was like, I was probably running on no sleep, but I did it. So yeah, that was the time that I dealt with that. So what about you? How do you have you ever dealt with struggles and maintaining focus during the summertime, and how did you overcome that?
For me, it was last summer. So I was working a retail job. I was having a little bit too much of a ball, and also trying to graduate. So I'm gonna just be transparent. I was finding myself hanging out with my friends. We was having a grand old time. If it was a 7-day week, at least 4 of those days I'm outside, I'm doing something. Sometimes those outside occasions can end up me being out till like 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's like, should I be outside that late? Yeah, if you know you don't have something to do the next day and you know you can relax. But it's like I'm doing that and I got an 8 a.m. shift. But please trust I'm going home, I'm gonna take a shower, brush my teeth, and I'm gonna make it there, but I'm not showing up fully. Or it's like I know I have an assignment due at 11:59 tomorrow, but I didn't start it until today. And it's like, should I be doing that in my senior year? Absolutely not. But I was like so focused on having a good summer, because I feel like last summer was like the real like, oh my gosh, COVID's really over. Like it's time to have fun. So I feel like I lost sight of everything. I'm like, I've been working so hard for 22 years of my life in
Mm,
school and jobs, da, da, da. I'm like, it's time for me to have a good time. And I was like, whoa. Like when it was starting to get to my birthday, I was like going through a little bit of a financial struggle. And I'm like, my birthday
mm,
is everything to me. So
mm,
I'm like, I feel like I won't even be able to celebrate my birthday. I'm like, I'm wilding. I'm like, whoa, what's happening? And then it's like, I knew I had an extra semester of school because I was doing all the transferring. I'm like, it doesn't even seem like I'm going to graduate on
mm,
time, and I'm already graduating late. So I'm
mm,
like,
mm,
whoa, girl, you're bugging. So it was the middle of July. I want to say maybe like, I'm going to just throw out July 15th because that's the
mm.
middle of the month. I sat down. I told my best friend, I'm like, yo, we've had a really, really fun summer. I was like, I'm putting it on pause. And she was like, what? Like, we've been having so much fun. I'm like, we have been having so much fun. I'm like, but by the looks of it, it's not looking good for me.
Mhm,
I'm like, my birthday is in a month and I don't think I'm going to be celebrating it. And I was
mhm,
like, school is still on.
mhm.
And I'm like, I'm not doing well. I'm like, because
Mhm.
I'm tired. I can barely show up. I'm like, I can barely function without having like 2 cups of coffee. And I'm like, that's so unlike me.
Okay.
I'm losing myself in the
Mhm.
summer. And
Mm.
I was like, whoa, like that. No. So I had that conversation. She was like, you know what? I support you. Do your thing. Whatever you feel like is going to work best for you. And I tell you, I'm like, all right. I worked my tail off at work to make sure that I had enough money to celebrate my birthday.
Wow.
When school started back up, I needed to buy books out of pocket. I made sure, I'm like, all right, I just need to do 2 shifts this week and I could buy that book. Boom,
Mhm.
I was doing it. I'm like, I hate studying. But I felt so off my A game. I'm like, you know what? Let's try studying again. I was using the little Quizlets, the Kahoots. I'm like, I need to do these things to get my brain back into the groove of being in school. Um, that was around the time where I met my significant other. I was taking him, well, not taking him, but we were going on coffee dates. I'm like, all right, I need to have homework to do. So I'm like, I'm gonna bring my homework, and you can
Mhm.
just sit there and let me do the homework. And we would chat,
Wow.
but having him there was like the motivation of like, okay, maybe I'm doing a paper. He's talking about the paper. I'm like, ooh, now I got my creative juices flowing. Now the paper is
Mhm.
getting done in like lightning speed. So how did I overcome those struggles? I really just had to sit there and be like, whoa, this is not the life that I want for myself. This
Right.
temporary fun is not going to get me where I need to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years. Second, I surrounded myself with people that genuinely cared about me and my goals just as
Mhm.
much as I did. So I knew what I wanted to get done. And my best friend was like, you're right, go do your thing. I got you. The My now boyfriend was like, okay, like this is a lot. We just started talking, but okay, I got you, girl. And everybody was on my side to be like, okay, cool. You gotta go. You go do your thing.
Mhm.
So I would say when you're trying to maintain your focus, really think about my I did that file. What do you want to be able to say you got done? Do you want to say, yeah, I partied until
Mhm.
4 a.m., but my schoolwork is not turned in and I'm tired at work and I can barely stand up straight without feeling like I'm gonna topple over and fall asleep?
Mhm.
I don't think so.
Mhm.
So I had to sit there and be real with myself. Who am I and who do I want to be? And I felt like when I was describing those things out loud, I'm like, I don't do that. I'm like, that
Right.
isn't who I am. So I feel like that's what really helped me like wake up. It's like you know yourself better than anybody. So it's like, does
Mhm.
that sound like you? No,
Mhm.
girl. So let's
Mhm.
get it together.
Right.
So that's what
Mhm.
really helped me,
Okay.
definitely.
I like that. I like that. I needed this because you inspiring me over here. I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm over here thinking about different ideas of what I do. Like, what do I want to get done? I have a lot of things on the plate coming up, and it's like, yo,
Mhm.
like we said, it's go time. It's harvest season. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna reach out to you after this because I have a few things that I wanted to work on. I'm like, no, I'll put it on the back burner. I'm like, nah, she got me ready to work on it today.
no, let's work on it. Let's make it happen, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
let's definitely do that. And I think that maybe what we should do in the fall, is start some sort of like goals cohort. So what we do with the summer program, but make it like a goal, a goal, goal setting, personal development program, maybe over 4 weeks. In the course of fall, we could do like one session a week, and that'll be something you would have to register for. We would do privately
Hmm.
on like a Zoom, and we can like instruct the class and stuff like that. We'll probably have a registration fee or something like that. If y'all really want
Hmm.
something else to do, so this is something we need. And I know right now it's a little challenging to get people to focus, but I feel like if we launch something like that in the fall, a lot of people are going to chime in. Like, you shouldn't be waiting until 20. You shouldn't wait till January 1st to talk about your
Yeah.
goals. I want us to be goals. This is like we got to do it. So Isis remind me, so we can launch something like this.
Sure.
Come September, and
Mm-hmm.
especially because a lot, I want us to all win. We don't have any excuses, y'all. Stop making excuses, and I want you to look in the mirror with yourself and write down the excuses you've made or why you're not there. Isis said, she said, I was wilding last summer. I was wilding summer 2007. I was out here just gallivanting like I didn't have real life to deal with, like
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sometimes you gotta stop while pull yourself from wilding out and say, now let's focus.
Mm-hmm.
What's because let me tell you, it feels so good when you have that goal accomplished. When you say, yo, I did that. I got it. It's done. I don't
Mm-hmm.
gotta worry about it. Instead of going and being in a situation in a place you don't want to be in. So
I
God.
agree. We are down to the last question, y'all.
Okay.
All
I
right.
love it.
So, how do you recommend dealing with setbacks? Because goals are not easy, or any moments of discouragement while we're trying to achieve those goals, especially during the summer.
I think that's part of it. You got to set yourself up in advance. So prepare yourself in advance. Have a plan in place. So my therapist would call it. She used to be like, Maria, so how are you going to prepare for that when that happens? So if I was going to have a challenging conversation, right? So I would say prepare in advance for disappointment. It's part of the
Mm-hmm.
game. In project management, it's called risk management, right? It's like, okay, so if this goes wrong, how am I going to respond to it?
Mm-hmm.
So assess that before you start making your plans and deal with your contingencies and your goals, like Isis you talked about in the whoop. Identify your potential obstacles in a way. Be realistic
Mm-hmm.
about that, right? Because it may not happen overnight, whatever you're trying to do. So I would say prepare in advance, make room for that, have some systems in place, so you could do it so that if you are feeling discouraged and you are feeling disappointed, you look at your risk management plan as, all right, girl, I need to maybe go listen to some praise and worship music, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe I need to like walk away and take a break and not deal with any of this. Maybe I need to call a friend. Maybe I need to do some like self-care. Maybe I need to maybe go work out. Like, what are you going to have in place to deal with the disappointments of it all? And let me tell you this, and Isis, we say this all the time. Rejection is, I feel like it's God's protection. Keep the bigger picture in mind that everything is working together for your good. Like, even the no's, even the delays, even the disappointments, even the I've sent my script to a million people and maybe nobody wants to produce your movie. You sent your book to 29 literary agents and no one's saying yes. You applied for a business loan at 27 banks and everyone said no. Like, everything is working together for your good. And that's part of your story. Nobody connects with the story of, oh, everything was just handed to me. I believe Damon John, the off of Shark Tank, and we know him from the black guy on Shark Tank, Damon John, and also the founder, a former founder of Fubu. He was rejected by 27 banks, and he was living in his mother's, I think, basement or something like that, apartment, until he got the loan for, I'm not sure if it was on, but until he got the funding to start Fubu. Like, it's part of the game. Like, maybe you're trying to act. Maybe you really want to be in movies and Broadway plays, and you get rejection after rejection. It's part of it. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that, allow yourself to feel it, right? But don't let your feelings run you. You can't trust your feelings all the time. They be lying to us.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna say, oh my God, the world is over. Girl, you fine. You
You gonna
fine.
figure it out.
You gonna figure it out. You gonna dust yourself off and you gonna get back up again. And in those times too, I like to pray. And I'm like, all right, God, like, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want me to just trust you? Am I doing something wrong? Do I need to change my strategy? So, focusing on that too. That's what I would say. So what would you recommend to dealing with setbacks and dealing with disappointments and, trying to achieve your goals?
For this I actually was gonna touch on what you said a little bit earlier. In our Tuesday meeting, one of the interns has said, like, oh, I'm gonna show you guys this project I've been working on, but I'm not feeling too solid in it, but it's fine. And then we were like, no, just walk away. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're just having writer's block
Mm-hmm.
or creativity block, like just give it a second. So with goals, I feel like it's the same thing. Maybe you do have a moment of discouragement, or you have a setback in the goal. It's like, all right, maybe you need a fun day with your friends, or maybe you need to just step back and not even focus on the goal for maybe a day or two, and then come back and reassess, because it's like, oh, I'm upset, and you're gonna let your emotions fuel you, and you might just mess up the plan. So I would say, if you are feeling discouraged or sad or about certain setbacks in the goal planning, just give it a moment. Let your let yourself cool down. Let the emotions not be as high, and be like, all right, how can I logically reassess what I'm gonna do next? That's for sure. When it comes to woo, think of the obstacles that are gonna arise when you're trying to achieve this goal. Because we would like to think like, all right, if I think it, I can do it, and it's gonna happen tomorrow, or it's gonna happen in the time frame that I wanted to. And sometimes that's not the case, because God has a bigger plan
Mm-hmm.
for you, or there might be things that are happening behind the scenes that you don't understand now, but you will later. So it's like, all right, be aware of the fact that things can go wrong, or maybe you think that this part of the plan is going to work out, and then when you finally do execute it, you're like, wait, this doesn't even make sense for my goal. So it's like, be prepared to change things around. You don't have, like you said, you don't have to change the actual goal, but you might have to change the steps to get there, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say whenever you're trying to achieve a goal. Just be aware that there are gonna be things that get in your way. It's a matter of how you're gonna get over those things. Don't be too hard on yourself, because goal slaying is not easy.
It ain't.
And
Mm-hmm.
surround yourself with people that make you feel good when you are having those type of setbacks. It's like, if I maybe I want to graduate college with all A's, and I fail a test. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so upset. What can I do? Of course, you can study harder, you can do all those different types of things, but you're sad right now. And I know myself. If that were to happen to me, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna email my professor. I'm gonna be like, hey, can I retake it? Or I'm gonna study, and I'm gonna burn myself out.
Okay.
Step away.
Okay.
It's okay.
I
I
agree.
yeah, that's all you can do. Step away, reassess, and try again.
Dust yourself off and try again.
Mm-hmm. What's that song? If ever she does continue,
That's exactly where I
get
got
up
it
and dust
from,
yourself
girl. You
off,
know,
try again.
you dust yourself off and try again.
Mm-hmm. That's it, and that is all of our questions.
Okay, that was good, Isis. This was probably one of the, like I said, meatiest lives we've done. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
was really insightful, really helpful, guys. Again, we'll probably, if you guys want to join our, we're gonna do a goals course. I just came up with that,
Mm-hmm.
and something where you guys can really, we can work and really get to the framework, really hashing your goals, holding each other accountable, maybe have some like accountability partnership, we could pair each other up. So we'll probably want some of that later on in the year. But like we said, if you know any young woman interested, and we do teach this more in depth in our summer program. This is what the young women are getting. So if you want to know more about that, go to embracealegacy.com/EHL Academy. Our application is closed Sunday for real this time. like
Right.
I,
We were saying it before, but we being serious.
now we for real. We can't do it after Sunday. And the program dates are July 8th to July 19th in New York
Mm-hmm.
City. If you want to, you can also download our free goal setting course, how to crush your goals. I believe something of that nature. It's a goal setting course, but it's on our website. It's also on a link in our bio. If you're watching this on Instagram, our goals class, and we talk about this, and then we also teach. I have I think also some more on our Patreon page. We have some more courses if you guys want to work on stuff like that. And I wanted to see, was there a workbook? No. The workbook is only available for a former class, but we did have a workbook, but that's if you took a course. But we will bring it back in the fall where we'll do workbook. We'll bring it all together because I think this is something that we need. But I'm excited. This is good, Isis. I needed this. And any
Thank
last?
you for getting me together.
I, thank you for getting me together. We got each other together.
Yeah.
That's why Isis is right. All right.
Well, thank you. I have nothing else to say except thank you for joining. I hope that this made you want to get up and slay those goals tomorrow.
Mhm.
And stay tuned because we'll be back on live very
We'll
soon.
be back. We'll be back next week. We'll be back next week. All right, cool. We're gonna Isis, do not forget to tag me. So this will come up on my page.
Yes, I'll tag you.
And don't forget as a collaborator.
Okay.
So now I could be on my page or whatever.
I'm gonna make sure I do that. And thank you for this conversation. Thank you all for tuning in. And I think that's
All
it.
right, good night, everybody.
Bye.